Welcome, Gemini, to another timeless, the love variant reading of yours. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. First and foremost, if you are a returning listener to my channel, you can see that I am going to start streaming content a bit differently. If you are new to my channel, I welcome you and I look forward to see where these ways take us. I have tied up a lot of loose ends in the corners of my universe, so I look forward to seeing how things can pick up from here. I hope it is a collective sort of vibe, and yeah. A few things before we get into your reading. I am Master Seventh. I read these energies of the ether. Should you be interested to know more information about me, the description box has a lot of information. If you browse, you can see a little bit about what I'm about. I'm also a master healer. I provide remote healing sessions wherever you are, in the longitude or latitude, wherever you are in this global phenomenon. So should you be intrigued by that and wanting to see how I developed a new form of Reiki that I define as 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗔𝗽𝗽, feel free to connect. As well as if you're interested in any type of tarot service, I have also changed the game of tarot, and I look forward to be able to be on this journey to share it with everyone. We're not at that stage just yet, but I have incorporated in my past, and maybe I will do so in this reading and in the future readings. A bit again about that can be found in the description box below. In the link in the description box, we will also find various ways to find a connection with me. So if you're interested in building a future connection of some sort of interest, and I do plan on having material forwarded for those who subscribe to me. It's just like a little bit of, the technological advancements that I can utilize to kind of mainstream some sort of connection in that route. So if you're interested, please feel free to subscribe in that niche. It's at no cost to you. And yeah, if you also are just interested to don't know what, but you know that you caught a vibe and you're interested, you can reach out on that as well. What else? All right, Gemini. These messages will resonate if you are Gemini in your Sun, Rising, and or Jupiter position. They will provide universal justice. Throat chakra, already acting up here. All right. A segue. I'm hearing like the naysayers, but fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. I think it kind of plays a little bit toward building your own ego when we enter the reading. Well, we'll leave that for it when we enter the reading. We're beginning a little bit already. However, if you are Gemini in possibly your Moon, Mercury, and or Venus position, you may be in search of emotional redemption, where my sister channel, which I provide also readings for, is a link found in the description box. There are timeless content over there. New is planning. It's in queue. However, everything that you want to utilize upon journey over there, should you journey that way, might be of assistance for you. And then there's just links to other things that I streamline off of this channel, and very deeply much desire to continue to do so. So feel free to check out the other series if you have the time. You can show support in many more ways than one if you're interested, by just simply liking and subscribing to this channel if you feel called to do so. If not, totally fine. Totally cool. All right, let's see. Gemini. Feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific, and past, present, and future energetical timelines could always come forth within a reading. Use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and leave the rest behind. This is simply storytelling time. You caught a vibe and you've wanted to see what it's got, so let's see if it has anything in store for you. In doing so, it is to remember that you are entitled to your own choices, and that is the only way that the reality of anything that's said within this reading could take forth in the reality of your universe. Never really said it like that before. I'm wondering why I'm saying it for you, but all right. It's been said. What else? Oh, I think we're ready to go. I'm getting to okay. All right, so Gemini. You don't want me to touch the cards for a moment, so I won't. Whoa, that's a lot. I'm seeing like children playing in a playground, lots of activity. A very excited energy, almost if it's like celebrating a birthday. I want to say below the age of 9. And it's very celebratory. It's full of life, and you're in charge of the setting somehow. Whether it's the food that you provided, the entertainment of some kind, the idea, the decorations, like a lot of, or even if you're just even like related to the child in some way, like there's something to be said of what you created in that big bubble, and you taking an opportunity to assign yourself in seeing the world of that which you created as that bubble, so that you can see where you moved as the air sign that you are, the impact that you leave. And the best way to kind of let you become aware of the impact that you left behind is to get you to look at what you are celebrated as. And if you are vulnerable, you're not going to want to feel celebratory, so you don't want to take compliments. So at least then see it in a way that you bring blissful states to another person's life. And the ether wants you to recognize that. And that is part of the gift, a talent. I'm hearing gallant, whatever, pop through. Gallantly. Ooh, okay. I'm hearing equestrian, something to do with horses. Yeah. Someone that I work with, maybe coming through a little bit for that one. Because that resonated in my personal life a little bit. Not that no. But horses speak to me, okay? Horses deeply speak to me. As they do with many other people. They're very high dimensional beings, and they heal. All right. Someone wants to become a healer. They don't know if they can take it seriously, though. Like, they really want to heal, and they want to be in charge of like triggering healing in others with the awareness or advocating for that. So I think that could be like something that you're really good for as well, bringing healers together. And that's cute. That's beautiful. That means a lot of you have been on this journey of, I'm hearing big forgiveness. A lot of us are still kind of bruised by certain labels of such, so I'll try to tread carefully. It is just English, and the way English kind of ties things transactionally together. But how we kind of bring in the tonality and how we infer the tonality of English is kind of where we get to build a subtle form of sovereignty. And I say that also because English is my second language. So, all right, now, on to your reading. Going back to your reading. There's huge ascension symptoms happening. Like, I'm seeing, like, someone's eyes starting to shift color. Being able to recognize that your eyes tell a story as well, like anatomically so, physically, and that you're becoming aware of that narrative, just maybe even if it is just sheer curiosity. And then it can be any other element as well, starting to see things, hear things, smell things, think about things that you realized you never thought before, and becoming at peace with what you're experiencing, and recognizing eventually at that point that you're conquering your anxieties, because you subtly have gone through milestones in giving your anxiety exactly what it needed this whole time, which is the opportunity to heal. And whether you consciously chose that decision to heal and put a lot of intentions into that process in the last few years or so, or you just allowed yourself to recognize certain situations in life where you had to pivot, that you have come here to this very moment, and this moment, wherever it is on the time frame of calendar time, is not important to how important it is. And recognizing the power of something like that too allows you to become submissive, that there is something beyond you that kind of keeps everything intact. And although we can't make justifications to everything, it has justifications for everything. And that's, I think, a very powerful point to get to in one person's life experiences or their life journey. I'm hearing a subtle ringing of the ear. And yeah, there's and the beauty about this is that the subtle way that tarot could have landed in the lap of someone, or in the home of someone, or someone's innocent walking journey in their travelings, is that it becomes, and has become in the last few months, at this timeline, and I'm recording this in 2024, that tarot has become a bigger political thing. There are more people that are more famous for being readers and psychics and mediums, and they draw a lot of attention, and then it can be in the movie theater. So there is a bigger narrative that is almost allowing you to seek and give yourself permission to trust that the inner conversations that are curious to validate the existence of things, the existence of truth, is that everything is entitled to full transparency. And it will force it to be almost like omnipotent, where you have to integrate yourself with every possibility just to be able to like keep up, and then process things later. And at processing things later, you subconsciously kind of done that over the last few years, and that's where you are reaching milestones at a better state than a lot of people in your immediate vicinity, especially, and where you're still possibly struggling with finding the right tribe for yourself. All right, let's get to some cards. In these headphones, I'm listening to like a little bit of music, and it's picked up a lot of speed, and it's making it clear that the ether and being emotive to it will immediately let you know how well you're working for or against yourself. And that's with allowing yourself to understand consumption is everything, because the skin is your biggest organ, and anything that you're around is absorbing. And even if you don't feel it right now, or you're consciously aware of it, your body is processing the things that it's around. And that's kind of what is happening at full throttle, at full speed, in a way that you can make sense and not make sense of it, in a whole global phenomenon of what it means to be existential at this time of the year of 2024 and beyond, and the things that are to come. All right, we have the Four of Swords, which is that nauseating feeling that I'm feeling right now because the music is too fast for our feelings to have to catch up. Yet you understand the movement of having to sway, having to be part of the music, to release those energies that you just don't understand yet, but you know that if you crack your back and like you stretch and you move, that like, oh, the next breath kind of took care of that concern. All right, that comes with the power of the Strength card. Movement and swaying, I feel a lot in that energy. And then the King of Pentacles takes it all home and reminds you that you can take your time to understand everything and become in control of your own livelihood. And that livelihood is indicative to how you feel, how comfortable you are, what your gratitudes are, what your desires are, and being able to admit them come into full acknowledgement. And this is all done, by the way, with yourself, because all the eyes here are closed. Okay. And to understand that beauty is to understand in the bubble of which it is that you are, in the skin that you're in. Every time you have your eyes open, you blast the sensation of what the insides cannot see. And then when you close your eyes, you have to process that world of which, because you're trying to communicate to it what it saw. That's a completely different speed. It's a different acknowledgement, a sense of self. And doing that is, I mean, it's fucking difficult, okay? It's fucking difficult. It's nauseating. It's debilitating. It's depressing for a lot of people. Pardon me as I have to kind of stretch here. Ooh. Okay, because the energy is kind of run along the spine, whether you scientifically believe it or not. We're going to leave that for another time. And you coming into wholesomeness of the halves that you are trying to mesh together. And doing that as a conscious person and a forgiving person and a loving person and a person that wants to be part of rather than segregate is very daunting for one to experience, and then also do it alone. Okay? Because you'll realize and have realized that wherever you've gone to try to unpack certain things, every one of them, especially professionals or experts, have been dissatisfactory. Like it's not very, it hasn't been to your satisfaction. And it's to indicate that the relationship of the bubble that you have in the biggest bubble that maintains your bubble, that's a bigger control. That's a bigger power. And that power is also control of the so-called experts bubble. And being in tune with your bubble is the most important thing that you can have, to trust another person's bubble and what they want to share out of their own world. That journey is a hard lesson. The King of Pentacles is aware of that. The King of Pentacles also addresses that it's usually the things that you put effort to that have the biggest result of consequences, because it's a masculine orientated energy. Although it's slow in the movement, it's very impactful. Okay, and it needs a taming of an energy. That's why the Strength card is here, to remind the King of Pentacles your emotions are being addressed at this time. That's why they're so powerful in moving mountains. Yeah. The Moon. So things are happening alone when your eyes are closed, and having to justify that world, even if you have to justify that world when the eyes are open and it's exposed to everything. It's very, this energy here, explosive, daunting, tiring, like Kitty wants to sleep and nap to understand why it's so tired. It's a fascinating symbiosis for this King of Pentacles, because the King of Pentacles is this Virgo energy where that big bubble that's been present in this reading, that's the galaxy. The galaxy has been, via science, has been subjugated as Virgo energy to allude that Mother Nature is feminine, and feminine is the one that creates the doing of the action that's present, the physicality of things. And the physicality of things becomes into fruition because of the backhanding of the moon, feminine energy, and the emotions of feminine energy. Non-gender specific here. Six of Cups. Coming to reconciliation with what has been shared in this reading. It isn't about something literally yesterday coming back to tomorrow. It's not about that. That's not all that reconciliation is all about. Because if you really look close at the hands of reconciliation, I don't know if oftentimes the universe really agrees with something coming back through a revolving door countless of times. Winter is going to play a big role here for a lot of Geminis. There's going to be celebratory acts, things that are going to make sense to what you've been you've been practicing gratitude, and those rewards are going to come up in the next timelines of whenever you've seen this readings, the next winter season, whatever that winter season means for you, even if it means palm trees, but it's winter season, that's that. If it's winter season, it's putting on mittens and fucking thermals, then that's that, okay? Be wary up to that point what you consume when you go out to celebrate, whether it's a drink. Have eyes on everything. It's not to say that like a Seven of Swords is going to come in and be deceptive for you. No, this is about a teachable moment for you. And to become teachable is to trigger the loudest aspects of to why you're here. And the majority of here is because you are prone to anxiety, prone to panic, prone to anxiousness. And those are all hinting to actually the powers of what makes who you are, which is air energy, ladies and gentlemen, all those in between and beyond. Air is about the science of the mechanics of the mind thinking. And the mind doesn't need to be triggered by anything besides the speed of air. And that is something difficult for you to kind of ground, but you've been grounded for a very long time, or you've been at least working on the steps to being grounded. Then there are other lessons that are like half step markers to the next level, and that next level has cheat codes, and those cheat codes can be found when you just pay attention to subtle things that you realize, oh well, interesting, and I don't know if I should or shouldn't, and then you can kind of swing in that pendulum of existence because you just don't know, right? This is a collective general reading. You didn't choose to single yourself out and say, hey, this is me and I'm focusing on you. This is a big one, and I can maybe hone in on you specifically, or then one person next to you, and whatever. Right? Okay. So just pay attention to every variable as if you're like managing the moment. Okay? It doesn't mean you're micromanaging the moment. You don't have to be like picking at everything, but just understand who's part of the room, who's part of the scenario, who's doing what, who's asking you for things, who is of service to you, and just playing with that, and you'll be surprised how that will help you in what is to come in this winter season. Ooh, the Fool. It's a 0. It's going back to the beginning, and it's beautiful to go back into the beginning. Some of us really want to go back to the beginning. Like, please take me back to when I was at least a child. And some of us take it beyond it. Take me back to the beginning. If you feel it, you feel it. As a tower just wants to pop through here. I'm already hearing I'm not taking it. It's too many. Some of you have been dealing with chronic ailments for a very long time, and you want to get off of the substance of that, and you can do it. You can do it. For someone who's been in similar shoes and stayed away from a lot, I pushed the limits of what my ego can accept as my darkness. And now we're here. And I haven't taken anything, and I've been from over decades. And according to science, pretty damn cleared out. And I've been struggling for decades. Some of you have this ritualistic approach to the esoterics, and I'm personally not a huge fan of that, because I think the biggest ritual is everyday life. You know, coming to terms with that without that, all the extra shit is already fucking difficult. So just be mindful of that. If that resonates at all, if that is to a liking, just be cautious when you listen to reads that are specific for full moon and new moon rituals. As a master healer, I can attune individuals to practice the niche of my own 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗔𝗽𝗽 or Reiki. And for Reiki, the fundamental smallest ritual that you can do to train a person to get back into the rhythm of themselves is to address the very fundamental basics of that we have in common on this global aspect, and that's the sun and the moon. And if you do it in an quote-unquote innocent way, in a very basic way, that is something that anyone can do. You don't have to be attuned to it, but anything extra to that is almost considered karmic, and like the karmic. Okay, and it will have more consequences than not, and not the good kind. A lot more road bumps. I don't mind consequences, but I do mind road bumps, you know? Alright. So we have the world. By the way, I read how the energies come through. I think I'm very detailed, that I don't have to read reversals. I don't think I have to justify this, but for anyone who gives a shit, I should get censored for that. Anyway, but it's the sun card comes up, you know, everything's justified. I was thinking earlier with the whole ritual, you know, and seeing the elements of the sky, I can see why it's hard to make sense of the ugly parts in life. Yet there's so much of life that presents itself for free that you could navigate it ignorantly and come out very successful. I mean, we have a lot of people that are representing that type of energy and are very, in the object of perspective, problematic. Yeah? In the eyes of universal balance and injustices, that's exactly it is what it is. And that's all with the power of, can we control anything that the universe spits out? With all these major arcanas also here to share that with us. The moon, the world, the sun, all elements that are out of our control, bigger than our everyday lives. But you're a very much big contender in how you show up to that, how you represent yourself. How you represent yourself with peace, and how you can come to chaos with peace in mind, and can achieve that state of presence to get more rational situations being output to your favor, to your liking. Yeah, to your liking. Hey, Ten of Cups is beautiful. We're moving on to another deck. Gorgeous. All right, give me 1 second. I'm here. I gotta go digging for a deck, so pardon me. There's a lot of like head issues coming through, like headaches that are so bad that are creating nausea. And some of you are tired of taking the pills, you know. And so you're going into holistic measurements. I know that peppermint is really nice. Peppermint, to make sure it's organic. At least the smallest detail that you can pay attention to when it comes to working with essential oils is to be smarter when it comes to reading the labels. You know, at least a small step. You don't have to know everything. There have been absolutely phenomenal cases where people have to change their whole physiological well-being with essential oils. I'm one of them, you know, for sure. Someone's really considering, like, what is their best form of service they can provide for themselves and for others. It will make sense. I think give yourself at least 6 months to be closer to that identity. We have the patron, mentorship and finances. Someone wants to write a book. You're going to be successful in not only accomplishing writing the book, but getting recognition for the words written. And here, make sure that you have done a good amount of research in regards to who the publisher is going to be. I'm hearing that some of you who are acknowledging that part and have never considered the next part should consider it, which is free writing, because there is more of energy rummaging around you that wants to speak for itself. Some of you have gone through different cycles of experts, like mentioned with the mentorship, and just realizing they're not really helping you get closer to your tribe. So with that feeling, how do you explore that? Well, you have to find out more variables of who you are, and then base that part of acknowledgement and assumption with the external and start navigating towards that. And then people will show up of likeness, of like-mindedness, simple, everyday people out here. You know, not somebody who's like claimed expert, but a simple-minded person who might just want to become an expert. But an everyday introduction I'm hearing. We have the puppeteer, explanations, and apologies. So I think this is this is a nice feeling. I think someone is giving themselves full permission to not have to sign up for the everyday norm of what closure is. Like, hey, pick up the phone and say, I have to explain this to you. Or some people go to some people and hear them say that maybe you should write a letter and then burn that letter, and it's if you've written it to that, like, none of that interests you. You kind of like want to be here, process that shit, and not spend another fucking moment giving more energy to whatever triggered the fucking existence of your pain. I think that's a big ass fucking power move here. That's a big third eye in that palm of that hand here. It's a big power move. Big power move, the more that you can even foresee to understand. Big. And it's just big. It's massive, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. It's massive. The universe has something big aligned for that. Yep. The warrior. Perfectionism, burnout. Because you're perfect. And you're burned out. It's very literal. You've been a warrior up in this time. You're saying no to all this bullshit. Someone's getting very active. Like, you know, they're not necessarily chiming into like the nuanced narrative of, you know, you gotta be ready to handle any kind of fucking blow. No, you don't. You're not gonna be an expert for everything. But be an expert to what your breath is telling you to become familiar with. That's beautiful. I'm going to write that down. Be an expert. Okay. I already kind of forgot the words. So I'm kind of going to just play it out and see what this happens. Okay. Alright, so I have one more. So waiting for that one. Oh, got it. Didn't even see it. Alright, the catalyst. Radical changes, taking control. I fucking love that. You pushed it all out. You literally wrote the story, pushed it out to become something else. You took your pain and put it in the book. And then you let go by doing that. And then you realize, hey, I'm fucking strong and powerful. And what you've made be catalyzed. Catalyzed. I think I keep making shit up. It's fucking amazing. Like, I'm blown up, blown away. The shit I hear myself say sometimes. But the catalyst literally becomes crystallized. Okay? And that becomes the potion. The potion. And it's potent. Okay? And in that you've created radical changes. You can accept the radical changes that are coming. Because you're taking control, because you took control already. It's past, present, and future all happening at the same time. People are going to read what hasn't been written, read what is written, and leave the legacy of what is to be perceived by that. That is the potion of you, the author. And this could be a literal book, career, even something tangible as children that you want to create a family. This is a big, like, you're breaking ancestral ties, if that means something to you. Ancestors are not about the culture DNA. It's my ancestors could be your ancestors, kind of thing. Okay. Oh, that's it. No more for this one. Gotcha. I'll be dizzle. Put this over here. Let's see where she wants me to go. Alright, we're gonna go to a deck that I created, my deck, and we're just having the major arcanas here. Alright, my major arcanas. They're the same to you in how you define them. Same label, different definition. Let's put it that way. Same label, different definition. Alright, so let's see what she wants to say. $14, death card. So this is an energy for the next like 3 days. Be a little bit more cognizant of like your steps. You're gonna like be a bit more like fumbly. You know, it's not to trigger you that something's bad is gonna happen. It's just like little chaotic things are gonna occur. Like you're gonna misstep here. You're gonna do like those are like physical things kind of being like miniature earthquakes in your life that you just can't understand. So the ether is just taking that away. We're hidden behind the radical changes with the number 5. You're the catalyst. You are the energy of death, basically. All right? You're putting an end to things. I'm smiling because this is badass energy. Badass. Alright, right, some of you have made acquaintance possibly to Scorpio energy. Doesn't have to be, but this person is definitely mystified. They're mystified to fuck up, all right? And they're triggering the shit out of you. Yeah, Hierophant. They're triggering the shit out of you, all right? With the 6 energy, it's reconciling something, all right? Whether this person is like the one, you're like karmic the one, like this person is triggering, all right? Again, this is not your story, it is a story. Figure out where the fuck you are in it. Okay? Shit, this is badass shit. There's a lot of reminiscent childhood stories coming along, all right? This could also be, yeah, this is badass energy because this person is, it's like, here's Gemini, go out into the world thinking that, like, they haven't really found the one. Little have they been broken the cord as of late, somehow, somewhere whispers that the one has been in their life. So they've been on the lookout, you know, and they have, like, certain potentials, you know? And the fact that there are certain potentials should be, like, a red flag because you can't find the definitive the one, right? If that's the ultimate trick of the universe. It's the ultimate trick of the universe. I'm telling you, it's the ultimate trick of the universe. Like, the universe can tell you, that is the one, and then you spend time with that variable, and you're like, oh, this hurts. And I thought if it hurts a little, then it's a no. And the ether is like, yeah, Like, who can only make that clear to ether? You, the human. Okay, so this is, yeah, some of y'all want to break this down. You might want to have a personal reading. I don't know. You want to break this down. Oh, yeah, maybe you don't have to. You don't have to. Hermit, she's making this shit known. Taking it very personal. Hermit energy. She's putting out. You ain't got it. No. You can if you want to. But you don't need one. You don't need a personal reading. This is very... Where are you, Gemini? Yeah, this hits home. Just enough home that you don't really need much else. And then a lot more. And then you have it right there. Anything else? All right, that is all that I have for you at this time, Gemini. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And again, if you'd like any of my services, check out that description box below. There's some deets for you. And, yeah, like and subscribe. Keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.